Chapter 3.1 is about lines and angles. So there are three definitions that we're going to talk about first. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. And when you see those two bars put in between lines, that's going to represent them being parallel. So for example, over here, you have AE parallel to BF. You also have AD parallel to BC. Now, one other set that you do not know, probably heard about, are skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar, so they do not lie on the same plane. They are also not parallel and do not intersect. So if I have this line here, AB, and I am skewed to that, that means I cannot include any of these lines that are touching it. So all of those would be out. So that means I would be on this back or bottom part. Then I can't be intersecting it or parallel. So in this case, I would be using CG that could be skew to AB. Now there's other options as well, because you could use DH that's also skewed to it. You could use EH that's also skewed to it, and also FG. Parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. So again, those two bars that go in between them represents that they are parallel. ABCD is this top one, so the plane that would be parallel to that would be the one that's on the bottom. Okay, let's take a look at some of those to see their definitions. The first one are, which segments are parallel to AB? Sorry. So here is AB. I'm wanting to know which segments are parallel to that. So I named off EF because it's right below it, DC because it's right to the right, and then also HG because it also has that same direction of the line if you were to extend it, and they would never intersect. The next one, which segments are skewed to CD? So here is CD. Remember, I cannot be parallel, so that gets rid of AB, EF, and GH. So I can't be parallel, I can't be on the same plane, and I can't be intersecting. So that's going to leave AE, BF, GF, and EH. So skew is kind of the hardest part of it because it's one that you're not used to. So it kind of helps if you run through crossing out all of those pieces. So it can't be on the same plane, can't be intersecting, can't be parallel. So that's why it gets rid of those two as well. Okay, and then which two pairs of parallel planes, or what are two pairs of parallel planes? So there's lots of combinations. I just picked ABCD, the top one, and then the one parallel to it would be on the bottom, so EFGH. Then I also picked ABEF, the one on the left, and then the one on the right would be plane CDHG. Now when you name these planes, make sure you go around in the same circle. So if you start at C, you can go counterclockwise, you can go clockwise, but you have to make sure that if you're going in a circle that you're naming them in that order, because that's going to tell us what order the vertices go in. Alright, one more. What are two segments parallel to plane BCGF? So BCGF is this back plane. So what I would do is just think of all of the lines that are, think of the plane that is parallel to that plane, and then name the lines that make that plane up. So for example, this plane here, since it's in the back, the one in the front would be the one that's parallel to it. So I would just name all the lines along that plane. So line AD, line DH, line EH, and line AE. Okay, moving on to our next part here. The next part is that we have to find more definitions for what angles we have within lines. So the first thing is a transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines. So the T that you see here representing this line, that's my transversal because it's cutting through these two lines. The diagram here shows that you have 8 angles that are formed from the transversal in those two lines. Notice that angles 3, 4, 5, and 6 are in between these two lines, so the part that I colored in red. So they are considered as the interior angles. The angles 1, 2, 8, and 7 are on the outside of these two lines, so they would be considered in the exterior or exterior angles. So we have some more definitions here. First one, alternate interior angles. So alternate interior. So first thing is knowing that it's inside. So here are my two lines. I'm going to go in between. Alternate means I'm going to go on opposite sides of the transversal. So if you have another color or something, I would like highlight 4 and 6 because that's a pair. And then the other pair would be 3 and 5. The next set is same side interior angles. So again, interior means I'm going to be on the inside of my two lines. Same side means I'm going to be on the same side of the transversal. So 4 and 5 are going to be a pair, and 3 and 6 are going to be a pair. Corresponding angles. This is one where people struggle to remember. Corresponding means they have to lie on the same side of the transversal, and they have to be in corresponding positions, which means one would be on the inside, one's going to be on the outside. So for example, I would use 1 and 5, they are a pair of corresponding angles, or I could use 4 and 8, they are a pair of corresponding angles, or I could use 7 and 3, or 6 and 2. So they have to lie on the same side of the transversal. One has to be on the outside, one has to be on the inside. And then last, alternate exterior. Exterior means I'm on the outside of these two lines. That means I'm out here. Alternate means I'm going to change sides of the transversal. So 1 and 7 are going to be alternate exterior, and then 2 and 8 are going to be alternate exterior. Okay, we're going to go through these top ones up here, and then you're going to do the bottom ones by yourself. So first one, it says, which is a pair of alternate interior angles? So first thing I would do is look at my picture and find alternate interior. So interior means I'm on the inside of the two lines. So my transversal would be this line, because that's the one cutting through both of them. And so then I would be looking on the inside of these two lines. Alternate means I'm going to change sides of the transversal. So one pair would be 7 and 3, or the other pair would be 2 and 6. 2 and 6 is the only one that's listed, so 2 and 6 would be my answer. Let's go through another one. Use that same picture it says, and we're going to name 3 pairs of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles again means I'm on the same side of the transversal. One's on the inside, one's on the outside. So if I went around, I would say 1 and 3. Another set would be 2 and 4. Another set would be 5 and 7. And then the last set would be 6 and 8. Alright, you're going to pause the video now and you're going to try all of the vocab that we've just discussed. So you're going to do the lesson check and see if you can come up with it. Alright, so here's for the first 3. Says name one pair of each of the segments, lines and planes that appear to be parallel or parallel. So here's my figure for 1 through 3. Parallel segments, there's a lot of them. I said EF and HG. You could say AB and CD. You could say AD and BC. You could say EH and FG. I'm sure I didn't name them all, but there are a lot of combinations. So if you have questions, let me know. Skew segments. So you're just going to pick a segment. So I picked EF. A segment that could be skewed to that would be HG. Okay? I also could have done GC, AD, or BC. Again, if you would like me to check that for you because it's not matching mine, please let me know. Parallel planes. So pick a plane. I picked the top one, so EFGH. So that's going to match the plane on the bottom, ABCD. Another set that you could use is you could do back and front. So I used A, E, F, B, D, H, G, C, or this side A, E, H, D, and then F, B, C, G. Okay, now you're going to be practicing with the other type of vocab. So give me a pair of alternate interiors. So interior means I'm on the inside. Alternate means I have to switch the transversal sides. So I could put together 2 and 3 as a pair, or I could put together 6 and 8 as a pair. Same side interior, so I'm still on the inside, but I'm going to stay on the same side of the transversal. So you could write down 2 and 6, or you could write down 3 and 8. Corresponding, this has to be on the same side of the transversal, but one's on the inside and the other's on the outside. So here are all the combinations. You could use 4 and 2, you could use 6 and 7, you could use 1 and 3, or you could use 8 and 5. Last, I have alternate exterior. So I am on the outside of my 2 lines, and I'm going to go on opposite sides of the transversal. So you could use 1 and 4, or you could use 5 and 7. Okay, a lot of vocab in this lesson. You have to make sure that you know this. So if there is a certain part that you are not getting, such as skew segments, or any of these 4, you have to make sure you let me know so that I can do some more practice with you, because this is going to come up in the next couple lessons.